Hello, welcome back to New Day on TV3, and time now to have a discussion about the SADA zone with specific reference to that trade fair, that all-important trade fair about the northern part of the country that was held in Tamale. The president himself was there to, as part of the measures, ensure that a very successful event was held. And one of the organizers of that trade fair has joined us in studio to discuss the aftermath of that trade fair. So really, it's over. What next? And then is it going to be, an annual affair, or what are the plans in place post this year's trade fair in Tamale? Let me quickly introduce Dr. Chris Anab. He is the 2016 Trade Fair Events Coordinator with SADA. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Martin, and a pleasure to be here.
Yes, yeah. Wonderful. To start with, 3-4 days of a successful event in Tamale. How did it go? Well,
Martin, it was fantastic. It was just not 3 days. It was 2 weeks. We started on 25th of February, and it ended on the 7th of March. So yes, it's almost 2 weeks of trade fair activity at the Tamale Sports Stadium. It went on very well. It's really exceeded our expectation. We had about 600 international and local exhibitors, exhibiting all sorts of products, from Greek products to handicrafts to machinery, just name it. And it was a beehive of activities at the Tamale Sports Stadium within this period.
And what kind of impact would you say it has had on local businesses? Well,
I mean, some of the benefits are very tangible for everybody to see. Some are intangible. The tangibles include it portrays the city of Tamale as well as the northern part of our country as a destination for business. So for the 2 weeks period, we had all the international exhibitors in Tamale, and the locals were around to showcase their products, and they had opportunity to match make. And so they established a lot of contacts with some of the businesses from South Africa, from Nigeria, and they are now following up to see how they can work together, set up joint ventures, and how they can attract some investors into the zone. So from that point of view, it went on very well. Because of the heavy traffic, some of the people, the locals who were selling their local smokes, handicrafts, baskets, and local rice, which is really one of what we should all be consuming. The made in Ghana.
I actually do like local.
It's fantastic to eat that type of rice, you know. And also they also got a lot of good sales from the people who came around to buy some of these products. So they got some increased revenue from the trade fair, which we are all happy about. Some of the hotel owners and guest houses, taxi drivers, and food joints also made a bit of money, and so the fair injected a lot of local capital into the local economy, which we are all excited about. But but on a bigger note, what we are excited about from the SADA point of view is that it opened up the northern part of the country, the SADA zone, to the international community.
Okay.
That this is a place you can do business. Throughout the 2 weeks, the place was peaceful. There were no reported incidences of any security issues. So clearly, it showed that anybody in this country or any part of the world can go to this part of our country to set up and do business.
We know that it cut across. The fair focused mainly on the untapped, what we call the untapped businesses and investment potentials in that part of the country. So agriculture, irrigation, tourism, renewable energy, warehouse, industrial. I mean, several major sectors were part of this particular fair. Would you say it would be easy for those that participated to come back if they really want to establish in Tamale? What would the process be like?
Yeah, I mean, very so. That was one of the cardinal objectives for the fair. SADA is trying to be a vehicle that will attract investments into that part of the country. So we've been doing a lot of work around some feasibility studies as to on the great potential of the zone, real estates as well as the tourism potential. So SADA then becomes a great source of information for investors who can walk in, and we are able to provide guidance as to the areas they can invest. And then SADA then is also in a good position as a public institution to work along with these investors to help them acquire land to set up, as well as the required licenses that are required from the various ministries. So yeah, and that discussion has already started. We have a number of businesses already coming to us, and then we are facilitating the process to help them set up in the zone. Yeah.
That will be, and that dovetails into my next question, which will be that, yes, after a successful event, what next for SADA, and specifically with issues of trade fair, doing business, what's the next on the agenda?
Well, next on the agenda is we like to have this as an annual event. You know, business promotion is a process. It's difficult to just do one event and think that people will find the northern part of the country an attractive place for investment. So, together with the board and the management of SADA, we're trying to institutionalize the annual business forum or fair, so that we'll be able to showcase the untapped potential in the zone. So we're hoping come 2017, we'll probably be holding another very successful fair. This time probably not, probably not in Tamale. We would like to move it around. Remember, the SADA mandate covers 63 districts in 5 regions, including part of the Volta and the Branda-Hafu region. So there's already a discussion to move it somewhere, probably to the Kintampo area, where we can also have, try to showcase the business potential in that part of the country. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, for these, we would want to know the locals. I'm sure they are very much appreciative of even thinking about holding this trade fair there. Would you say they have made some gains, they themselves, those that were directly affected by this fair?
Oh yes, they did. They did. Remember, one of the product that is produced in the area is the northern smoke. We have a lot of smoke weavers that are into this business, and during the fair, there were a lot of people bought the smokes, so it put money directly into the pockets of smoke weavers. So we are really excited about that. I spoke of the local rice, which is also produced in the area. I personally went around looking at the stands, so that was a very fast-moving product in terms of. And so the Ghana made in Ghana concept was actualized during the Ghana International Fair in Tamale, and we're quite happy about that.
Okay, and. In concluding the interview, our plans already advanced, so that at least we don't wait for the dust to completely settle on this before our next major project. What's SADA's next big agenda with regard to the northern parts? Oh,
well, yes, we are having a post-trade fair evaluation together with the Ghana Trade Fair Company, because we did this with them. So we are trying to identify the gaps and to see how we can position ourselves to have a better and improved trade fair the next time around. And so, yes, business promotion, business facilitation is going to be key, one of the key pillars that will drive the SADA mandate. And then we are positioning ourselves to work with all the relevant ministries, department agencies to ensure that we are able to attract more investors into this part of the country, to stem the migration of young people into the southern part of the country with all the difficulties that they go through. Yeah.
And what is new about this current SADA team? There's something peculiar about this new SADA team, and if you can share it with us.
Well, Martin, thank you very much for that. I mean, I think we have a fantastic team in place. Since 2015, we have a new CEO, as you all are aware, Charles Abore. He used to work with the UNDP for the whole of Africa in Kenya. He came down to provide the needed leadership. We have a fantastic professional board in place, and then we are recruiting a lot of professional staff. We have You know, we have an internal audit system. We have a number of chartered accountants who are managing our accounts very well. So issues of transparency and governance are being fixed, and so we are very much focused on providing a bigger picture vision for this part of the country. Remember, if we are able to explore the huge potential in this part of the country in terms of the land resources and the solar energy potential, in terms of the mining potential. Remember, you know, the southern zone, the Zabuzugu area, has the finest grade of iron ore in the whole of Africa, which we can mine for the next 100 years. That is lying idle, and I think we are all losing for that. So, I mean, we are using SADA as a vehicle to be able to propel the development of our country. And
one of the newspapers is reporting that some amount of money, is it 5 million, has been squandered by SADA or was given for the allocation of certain projects and retooling and all of that. Have you heard that news, and what's your quick reaction?
Yes, I heard it. While I was waiting to grab this interview, I heard some of the panel members discussing it. But Martin, this is once again one of the old stories. Is the guinea fowl, is the trees, now we are here of the hydrofoam. This dates back to 2012 when these things were there, and that were captured in the audit report. You know, audit reports comes with a series of questions that you are required to answer. So I mean, these are being addressed. As far as I'm aware, the new management of Southern Board, we are very focused, and we are trying to make sure the misery and the poverty in the area is alleviated. And so we feel really sometimes very bad if how we keep on sneaking in 4 years down the line, we still rehearse and keep on playing back things that are old stuff and that being addressed. But I think there's a lot of learning from the past, and then we are moving on.
Okay, we want to say a big thank you to Dr. Chris Anab. He is the 2016 Trade Fair Events Coordinator, SADA, that all successful trade fair that took place in Tamale, and in a collaboration between SADA and the Ghana Trade Fair Authority. Thank you very much, and we look forward to having a more successful SADA and then growing the northern part of the country.